Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about a trend that I've seen lately in recipe sites and also on a lot of craft sites or printable sites where they have this setup with four boxes here that represent their main categories. And then underneath this little series of circles that represent more specific things within the categories. And I think this is a great way to lay out a home page, or even better, a start here page. You could have, your categories, and you could say if you're new to baking or crafts or whatever, this is where you want to start. And maybe you have in here, what tools you're going to need, or, some point them toward your more basic stuff. This is great for navigation. This page even has a very short banner for their hero, and they have given a lot more weight to these category blocks and also these little blocks underneath. So anyway, so I'm going to build uh, a block that resembles these, and I'm going to put it into the membership in the custom Kadence library that we have. If you're not in the membership, you can follow along and build it yourself. And if you are in the membership, you may want to follow along as well, because then you'll know how to customize the block that you get for your own site. So I made this little Canva thing that shows me what I'm going to need when I build my block. So I'm going to go over to my site. This is my design site, and I always start with a row layout, always. And I'm going to do one row for the moment, even though I'm going to have four blocks in it. I'm going to put them in one row, and I'm going to add another row layout inside it. And that one's going to have four blocks in it, four columns. And the reason I'm doing this is because this outer row layout is going to give me a way to keep these together. So when I save it as a pattern, it will all be in one block. So it kind of neatens it up and makes a container for it. So, and then underneath this, I'm going to add, actually, it's going to be under the interior row. That's the outside row. I want this one, this interior row. I'm going to add another row after that. And I think I'm going to just do another row layout underneath. And we're going to deal with all those little circles in there. So, okay, so up here, I'm going to add, actually, I want to put a background image in this block. So I'm going to click on the block. I'm going to actually add a heading, and you'll understand why I'm doing this in a moment. I'm going to make sure I have just that block. I'm going to see if I can put a background image in there, and I cannot. So let's go out to that section. Yes, I can put an image in there. So let's just find something. Here's a nice image. Okay, and of course it's short because a background image doesn't take up any space. You have to add spacing to it. So I'm going to add a spacer. Oops. And I always choose the Kadence blocks. They're blue, so you can tell which ones they are. And I'm going to make the height of the spacer, I don't know, maybe something like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do that on each one of these. Okay. well, my text is in here. Where is my text? Here it is. It's up at the top. I want the text to be down at the bottom. So, see if that'll do it. No. Let's look at our layout here. Well, this is why I'm going to put the spacer above the text. There we go. So you can see now the text dropped down to the bottom. Okay, so this text is going to be, we're going to call it breakfast for lack of a better. Pretend this is a recipe site. All right, and align it in the middle. And then I'm going to put a background color on the text. I'll make something nice and bright. And there we go. So you can see right away that it's looking like this block or like one of these. Okay, so on the next one, I guess I add this one. It's hard to, there we go. And I want the background image in it first. These. And I'm going to add a spacer. And then I'm going to add advanced text. Okay, and then the spacer has to be 245 pixels high, so it will match. And this is going to be lunch. And center. And I'm going to put a background color in there, nice bright red. Okay, now it's weird that these are not the same size, and this is 245 and this is 245. So I'm going to make that one a little bigger so that they match. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. Background image. And I'll just pick these guys. And I'm going to add a spacer. Go up to 245. And then I'm going to add advanced text again. Dinner. And center it and add a background color. And I have to go back and fix my spacer. Okay, and then one more in the section. And you can see here where you are. If you just check up in this corner, you'll see which block you're in. Okay, and style, I'm going to add an image. Put another little cup in there, and I'm going to add a spacer. And I'm going to add text, which will be snacks. Enter it. And make that spacer a little bit bigger, and there we go. Okay, let's save this. When it says auto saving, I never trust that. I always resave because you can lose a lot of work if you don't. So let's look at the preview. Okay, now you'll notice this white line in between, and we actually do have some issues here with the height. You can see we're gonna have to fix that. And if you see this white line in the middle, that's the spacer showing up. So we have to get rid of that white line. So we'll go back to edit. And if we get rid of enable divider, yep, that's going to do it. Just get rid of that and makes that white line go away. Okay. So, and we're going to deal with the height of this. So if we can just grab it. Yeah, it should be each. This one's 276. So you see it wasn't showing correctly on the back end here, which happens sometimes. All right, so this should be better. It looked like they weren't the right size in the beginning, but they probably were. Yeah. So now you can see they're all the same size. Okay, so let's go back. And you can see that they're taking up the whole width of the page. And if we're going to go with these, we don't want them to do that. Even this one has nice big banner at the top, and then these are narrower. So, and that's got to do with the outer row layout. And that's why I like to do that outer layout, because now I have full control over what this is going to look like. So I like to align center first. And then if you use the theme content inner width, that's whatever you have set your theme content width to in the customizer. Okay, so if you use that, you can see that it brings it in. And you can even bring it in more. If you come over here and you say it wasn't narrow enough, you can pull it in down here. So you can make it even narrower. All right, so I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it at like 1154. That's good. Okay, let's see what that's going to look like. Okay, see, much better. I really like this. Okay, so underneath it, we're going to put a headline underneath so that you can put some kind of wording in there. We already have a row layout there, so we're going to put our headline, and here's my H2 headline, and I'm going to center that. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to do another row layout. And if you type a /, and you'll get a box that pops up, and your latest things will be in here. So I'm going to put a row layout in there, and now I want to have all these little circles, right? Okay, so little circles, they're images. So what I like to use is, I'm actually going to do another row layout inside a layout like I did before. And you can see that you can only get 6 columns. That's the most you can get. And over here we have 8 columns. So if we want to do 8 columns, let's see, this is going to be a little tricky. I know we can't go above 6. So the way I'm going to work around this is I'm going to add, I'm going to add 2 columns in here, and then inside here, I'm going to add another row layout with 4 columns, and then I'm going to add another row layout over here with 4 columns. And let's see how that's going to work. One never knows. So the first column is going to have an image, and it's going to be a round image. Oops. And it's going to have text underneath. So we have to keep all of that together. So when this becomes responsive on mobile and the screen is smaller, these blocks are going to shift, or these circles are all going to shift. And you want the text to stay with the circle. You don't want the circles to shift, and then the text comes out underneath it. So you have to keep it all in a row layout. That's why I always stress that you need to keep it nice and neat. So we're going to put an image in here. Oh, next image. Okay, and I'm going to select an image. And I'm just going to put some food images here. Okay, and now you can come over here and you can change the mask shape here to a circle. And I am on the image menu right here, and style and mask shape is circle. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that, and I'm just going to repeat this. Put them in here just for the sake of time. Okay, now I'm going to, for the sake of time, also delete that, and I'm just going to duplicate this and put it over here. Okay, so there's all my little circles. Now we're wasting a lot of space here in these columns, so we're going to see if we can get rid of some of these gutters. And I'm going to have to get rid of the gutters in here as well. If we go to small, okay, that's better. And now we have to make sure, yep, we're all inside that same row. So let's make sure that this is all going to be aligned when we look at the preview. And that's perfect. It's all aligned well. There's still a lot of space in the middle of these columns, so we're going to try to move them all closer together like this. Okay, so go back to edit. Okay, let's see if we can get column gutter. Okay, so if you click on this little icon right here, then you have a lot more control over that column size. All right, if we take it out completely, take it down to 0, that's better. I think there's still a lot of space in here. Maybe we can take it out of here. No, we're going to want to change these images probably to thumbnail. That's actually looking a lot better. And you're not serving up all these giant images, you're just serving smaller images. So this will be good for page speed as well. So let's do this. Okay. All right, so now they're all touching. So now we're going to need a little bit of a column gutter here. So let's make it 9. This is an arbitrary number and it made it look good. So, and now we're going to need a gutter in between these two. We're going to make that 9. Okay, so now each one of these needs text underneath. So we're going to click inside and we're going to add a text block. All right, so this is going to be, I'm just going to call it snack. But of course, you're going to want to, snacks, you may want to say, pies or whatever. And I'm going to just copy this. Oops. Okay. And duplicate. And drag over. Come on. Oop, there it goes. Okay, so you get the idea. So I'm going to pause for a minute so you don't have to watch me struggle with this, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have all of my copy in there. So now I'm going to save this, and we'll go take a look at it. And you can see that it looks pretty much like the design that we were looking at from these other sites. So you can see that it's fairly simple to do this. It's a little bit time consuming. So like I said, if you want to get the block, you can in the membership, or you can build it following along the way I did. Let's go back and edit this, and we can clean this up quite a bit. I mean, there's too much space in here to down here. We can take out that spacing. You can see it there. When you hover over, and you can see some of that padding, you may want a little more up here. And you may even want to take out some of this and bring them all up so that they have more proximity with your headline. And keep saving. This as well, there's a lot of space in here. Nope. And we have to find out where that space is coming from, and it could be padding on the text, or it could be a margin. A lot of times they add a margin in, and yes, there was margin in there. No, I didn't want to do that. So you see that I put a margin 0 and that picked that up. And I'm going to go to the image and put a 0 margin on the bottom. Yeah, that did it. Okay, so now I believe we can just copy styles and go through and paste. Copy styles is a good way to reproduce things that you've done. But I did 2 there, so I'm going to have to copy both styles all the way through here. Okay. And same thing with the images. Copy it, and then lost my way, paste. All right, so now we have this pretty well lined up the way we want it. We could, because everything's in sections, we could add a color, a background color here, if you wanted it to really stand out. Um, Same thing up here, you could add a background color, but it's pretty much done the way they've got it here. And like this one has a freebie newsletter sign up. So you could always add something in here. Even when you get a pattern that's all made, you can still add, you can add a block in there, and you could put a freebie in there or sign up or whatever you want. You could put a headline up here, whatever you want to do. So it's up to you. And this way you have total control over everything. And now I want to show you the reason why I put everything into one big row layout. And if I go out here and go out to the very outside of my rows, and you can even see it here, I've got the whole thing selected. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click the three dots and say create pattern. And I'm going to just name this my start here pattern. And you'll notice that it is synced. So that means that whenever I use this on another blog post, it's going to be exactly like this one. I'm going to hit create and I will show you what I mean. Now, say I come down here and I'm going to just go up here, go to patterns, my patterns, and here it is. Oh, I clicked it twice, so now I'm going to have two. But this is just going to prove my point. Okay, so now I have these three exactly the same synced patterns. Okay, edit original. All right, I'm going to change this word to supper, and then update, save it. And now you're going to see, if I go back right here, I have to go back to my patterns. This one has changed, this one has changed, and this one has changed. So if you don't want that to happen, then first I want to detach the pattern. And that means it's away from the other, it's not syncing with the other patterns. So I'm going to change this back to dinner. And I'm going to update. So now when I scroll down, this one still says supper, and this one still says supper. So the point is, if you want to edit the original pattern, then go ahead and do that. But know that it's going to change on every single instance where you have this. So if you've used this a few times, say you have an affiliate link or an about me little bio that you drop in all your blog posts. If you make a change on one of them on the original, it's going to change everything throughout the site. So that's a good thing and a bad thing, as long as you are aware that it's going to happen. And you can either decide, yes, I want them to change everywhere on the site, or no, I just want to change this one. That's how you're going to do that. And I also want to mention that you can link all of these out. You can add a link to these words to whatever your blog post is, link to the URL. Let's see right here, link settings. So you can add a link in here. And also these little images, you can always link an image by going to the link settings. And you'll link those out to a category or a specific post. So consider using this as a Start Here page, and I'm calling this Start Here 5. I have some other blocks in my custom library that are Start Here blocks. So, and if you're interested in getting this pre-made block, it's in my membership, and I'm going to leave links down below for you to join the membership if you would like. And thank you very much for watching my video.